is Shaunna Bernardin, and I'd like to welcome you back to our next episode of GGTV. Thank you guys. We just hit 600 subscribers in 2 weeks. Amazing. This particular video is actually a request video for a Labradoodle group called GGTV. And what they wanted to know was how to brush and maintain their dog. Good question, you guys. Really, really good question. And also how to clean up the ear canals. So this particular video I'm going to do for you guys. I love this girl. She's a fairly new client. I've only been doing her for a few months, but she's beautiful and she's very well trained. The maintenance program we have these girls on is they come every 5 weeks. And her owner helps brush her in between. So a couple of big tricks that I'm going to give you guys is the Wahl Do Not Spray. This is an amazing product that will really help you guys when you're brushing. That's what's in here. And my other best friend for doodles especially is the Late Pooch double-sided slicker brush. This thing is amazing for you guys. It does most of the work for you. Okay, so just before she goes into the bathtub, I'm just going to part the hair line by line, and I'm going to brush her through. But what I like about this particular brush is it gets out a ton of dead hair from these guys, and it really, really does all the work for you. So I spent about 5 minutes or so just before I'm going to put her in the bathtub just to break this stuff up. All right, and then I'll come back after and I'm going to show you how to do the ear canal and a few other tricks. So here we are back with my girl Maddie. She's so beautiful and such a nice girl. I specifically chose her because the doodles actually come in 3 different coat types. They come in the wavy coat, and then they come in sort of a brush coat, more like a terrier coat, and then the curly coat. Out of the 3 different coat types, I definitely feel the curly is the hardest. So I wanted to show you on her. So we've given her a good bath. We broke up any kind of matting that she had before she went in the bath with our Late Pooch double-sided brush. This is really, doodle people, your friend. This brush is amazing. Then we went and used the high velocity dryer, got the real wet off of her. She looks like she's dry. She is dry most of it, but I left this front leg to show you guys. So before I go through with the hot dryer, I'm just going to go back through with this. This really is going to take the work out of it. And you want to make a little line. You see all this stuff I'm pulling out? This is really going to help you. Once I've gotten it brushed through thoroughly, then I'm going to switch my brushes. And this is just a fluffing brush. And I'm going to use the hand dryer. It's important to finish it off with the heat so that you can really get through line by line. Once we have her completely fluff dried, this is really going to be key for you doodle people. It's going to really help keep them in these nicer haircuts. So then I'm just going to use a bit of a D-knot, and to finish off the proper brushing, we're going to go through with a wide comb. This particular comb has a detailing end as well, so if you hit any snarls or anything, this is going to help you with that. So I'm just going to start, and I'm just going to comb all the way through. You need to make sure you're getting right down to the skin. Sometimes I think you guys are just kind of combing over the top. It's really, really important that you get right down to the skin and do a really thorough job. You see, this is a piece that I just missed. So you really need to do this all the way through. I don't ever take a comb to them, to be honest with you, until after they're bathed and blow dried, because combing on dirty hair is very painful for the animal. You want them to enjoy this experience, not to make it feel like it's torture. So another quick thing that I wanted to share with you guys is doing nails. A lot of times you guys are scared doing nails. She has black toenails, and black toenails can be a little bit more difficult, I think. So normally I'm just going to put the dog facing towards me, and if you see right where the nail starts to curve, that is always the best place to go. Underneath, it's a bit hollow, and you don't want to cut it straight off. You want to cut it on a bit of an angle, okay? And I really like these larger guillotine type, especially for these guys. They have such big nails. And you want to go to the quick without cutting the quick. So if you can notice, there's a little white circle. That means you've taken it short enough. So the other specific question that you guys asked me for was how to clear the ear canal. Good question, you guys, because doodles do have real problems with their ears. So you definitely want to clear that out. I do it on all the doodles. Today I'm going to use my Motions by Wahl, and I'm going to use it on a 15, which is about halfway. And Miss Maddie, she's a perfect girl, aren't you? You're just the best girl. So all you're going to do is you're going to hold the ear open and try to make it as flat as possible. And I go ahead and I pull all this hair out from around the ear canal. And you can see that's quite full. And it's only been 4 or 5 weeks since this has been done. So I'm going to clear all that out and get that as clean and clear as possible. Another good tip that I do regularly is I just clear some of this inside hair. And I'm not shaving it to the skin, I'm just taking some of that. So it's going to clear the vent so that they can get more airflow going through their ear. And then about every couple of weeks, I just use a light ear cleaner. You don't want to use something with too high of alcohol. That can be irritating in their ear if you use it too often. It's just a light ear cleaner, and make sure that there's no real heavy odors going on or you're getting an ear infection. Then you're just going to go through and clean that ear out. And really, she's got pretty darn clean ears. There's barely anything in there. And that's because we take care of them on a regular basis. So we have all the rough work done. She's bath, blow dried, her nails are done, her pads are done. We did the ears, the inside of the ears. And as a bonus for you guys, I'm going to give you a few extra tips on how to keep this kind of a nice haircut. She comes in every 5 weeks. It's getting into springtime now, so I'm just going to take her down a little bit shorter because of the wet weather and stuff, and she's going to be getting matted. So a really nice, beautiful commercial length is a 0 on the body and a green on the legs. If you notice, she's getting a little bit older now and her top line's starting to go. So I just start a little bit back so I have a little bit of wiggle room so I can scissor that. So I'm going to just come straight behind her and I'm going to take the body off. You can see how much hair that's taking off in a very short amount of time. All this does is set your guide length and the length that you're going to go. The first time that I take the hair off, I do it fairly rough. And you notice I took the back of the thigh off. That's going to give you a little bit of angulation. And my general rule is I take the body off 3 times. You see how nicely that's going through? I know a lot of times groomers are just automatically shaving the dogs off, but this is what the people want. These are the way that you guys can do beautiful haircuts, and you're going to get noticed in the off leash. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around, I'm going to shave this off 3 times, back brush it up, and then we'll do a little bit of scissoring and we'll finish this video off. So this is our last time that we've gone over her body with the yellow attachment, and you can see how smooth and nice that is now. I highly recommend you doing it 3 times. It makes a huge difference. And then I always work with 2 clippers. I find it's a real time saver for you. So I'm going to use the green blade on her legs, and I'm just going to run that directly, and I'm pushing fairly hard, and I'm going to run that right down her foot. And you can see how much hair that's taking off, but also how much hair it's leaving. This is a really great commercial length. I really don't like to see them shaved to the bone. I know the doodle people don't like to see them shaved to the bone. So these are some really good choices for you guys to have a really pretty haircut. And look at how much hair that's taken off. And she still has really beautiful legs. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and then we'll be back and I'll scissor a bevel for you. So we have this girl all taken down now. She's got a 0 on the body and a green on the legs. We just need to scissor up her bevels. But you can see what a great job that those attachments do. They really, really save you guys a ton of time. So before we ever do the bevels, we always make sure the pads are done and the nails are done. I'm just gonna show you a quick pad. I use that on a 30 blade on my Wahl Bravera. And I'm gonna clear all the way around the outside of the toes. You're not going into the top of the foot, but I'm just clearing the bottom of the pad. This is really gonna help get your bevels set in properly. So I always take the time and I just clear right around the toes. Just make sure you don't go into the top of the foot. You want to leave that so that you can scissor that part so you can get your bevel in. But this is really a great tip, especially for you commercial groomers. You can use this on any breed. So the bevel. So you want to comb that straight down. Make sure you got it. You can comb right through it. And you've already created your line underneath when you shaved your pad. So I'm going to use a curved shear. And all I'm doing is just clearing the bottom of the foot. Okay? You're definitely not going into the top of the foot at all. I put the weight back down on the ground, and I'm going to comb all the hair in the direction around. Now we've already created a line underneath. So I'm going to take my curved shear now, and I'm just going to follow that line around. You want to go to the toe without exposing the toe. And then once you have that bevel in there, you're going to start working from underneath up. This is going to make a big difference. That's how you get that really cute little round foot. Now just remember, it takes practice. The big key points here, make sure the toenails are done, make sure your pads are done, and you want to go to the toe without exposing the toe. And it's going to take practice, you guys. So one really great trick for you guys, especially you groomers out there, if you're shaving the bridge of the nose, stop. It's really horrible. It looks really, really bad on them. Just take the corners of the eye. So if you are doing the whole bridge of the nose, don't do it. And I really like these little chunkers, and if you just go in, it's very natural. I think that the doodle people really appreciate it when you keep the integrity and try and keep it as natural as possible. But these little guys are great. They just go straight in between the eyes, and they clear the eyes without shaving down the bridge of the nose. Okay, and it keeps it much more natural looking. And then I'm going to over direct the bang line. And I'm just going to take a pair of straight shears. I always try to save their eyelashes if I can. Most of the doodle people I find, they really like it. You definitely don't want to cut it straight across like this, because then that's when they get that wind looking like they're blowing in the wind. So that's my first line. Then I'm going to comb this straight over, and I like to use a curved pair of shears on this particular piece because I like it a bit round. Her owner likes this face like this. I feel like it's personal preference when each owner, some like long beards, some like short ears. I feel like it's a personal preference with each one. So I'm going to just set that up. And if you notice, I haven't actually touched anything on the top of her head yet. I like to set the bottom up first so that I can balance out the top. And once I've done that, I'm just sort of going to tip her head down a little bit, and I can see the line where I have to close those two together. So if I just tip her head over just slightly, be careful not to go in over top of the ears. That really makes them look like a poodle. You want to keep the integrity of the doodle look for them without making them look like a poodle. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'll give you guys an overview when I'm finished. We're almost finished. One thing I always like to do is just go back over with my thinning shears and my chunkers on the face. Remember, the face is your money shot. This is what your customers are coming for. Make sure you put tons of energy into it. And if you just go back with your chunkers or your thinning shears at the end and you just dust over the ends, those are those little things that really, really make the difference. And you can see how cute she is. She's adorable, this girl. These tricks are going to work really well on any kind of a doodle for you. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I'm just going to clear this up and I'm going to give you a quick overview. So just a quick overview, we used the yellow attachment on her body, the green on her legs with the Wahl Bavera. The big trick for you doodle people for sure is going to be these Le Pooch double-sided brushes. The best investment you guys can get. Thank you so much, Doodle A. This video is for you. I hope you guys loved it. I hope you guys got some good tips and tricks. Thank you so much for all your likes and shares and subscribes. If you liked this video, subscribe. Tell your friends. Thank you guys at Doodle A.